With many Arab nations feeling a rising threat from Israel, the Saudi-Pakistan Defense Pact announced this week brings Pakistan and its nuclear umbrella into the region's security equation. The Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement, signed between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia on Wednesday, effectively marries Riyadh's money with Pakistan's giant nuclear-armed military. Pakistan, the only nuclear-armed Muslim nation, is one of the poorer countries in Asia, but it has an army of more than 600,000 soldiers to defend against its much larger adversary, India, with which it has fought three major wars, along with numerous clashes, including a four-day conflict in May that was their heaviest fighting in decades. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif thanked the Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, for his keen interest in expanding Saudi investments, trade and business ties in a statement on Thursday. India and Pakistan went nuclear in the late 1990s, with Pakistan developing missiles that can hit deep into India. But if pointed the other direction, Pakistan's longest-range missiles could in theory strike Israel. Last year, a senior White House official said Pakistan was developing long-range ballistic missile capabilities that eventually could allow it to strike targets well beyond South Asia. Islamabad denied that. Abdulaziz Sagar, chairman of the Saudi-based Gulf Research Center, said it was too early to draw conclusions on any nuclear element. Events have underscored the limitations of relying solely on external protection, especially from the United States, Sagar said. U.S. President Donald Trump hoped to expand the Abraham Accords, establishing diplomatic ties between Israel and Arab states to include Saudi Arabia during his second term. But Riyadh has made it clear it will not establish ties with Israel until the Gaza war has ceased and there is a path to Palestinian statehood. Few days back, the Israel's airstrike in Qatar's territory could be a reason that pushes Saudi Arabia into a strategic defense pact with nuclear Pakistan. Qatar is a mediator in negotiations of Gaza conflict on behalf of Gaza. If U.S. is a facilitator to the peaceful solution of Palestine-Israel conflict, then why U.S. did not take up Israel on this urgency against Qatar? This is a million-dollar question for Saudi regime. Back in 2019, when Iran-backed drone and missile strikes hit Saudi oil infrastructure, briefly cutting global oil supply by 5%, the U.S. condemned the attacks but did not respond militarily. This was a turning point in Riyadh's trust in Washington's protection. Saudi Arabia gains a clearer, formal security relationship with a nuclear-armed partner, increasing Riyadh's deterrence options versus threats in the Gulf. Pakistan provides manpower, training, and military coordination that shore up Saudi defenses. Gulf states are recalibrating away from sole reliance on the U.S. for some contingencies. This pact is part of that shift. Even if the pact doesn't openly transfer weapons, public statements about Pakistan's umbrella raise proliferation anxieties and complicate non-proliferation diplomacy in the region. Neighbors and outside powers will scrutinize command and control and thresholds for any nuclear sharing. It increases political pressure on the U.S., EU, and regional actors to clarify deterrence guarantees and export controls. Analysts warn about the diplomatic risks. India will reassess its Gulf and South Asia security posture, diplomatic outreach, maritime security, intelligence ties, and may accelerate its own partnerships in the region. The pact could become a source of friction between India and Gulf states. A Pakistan-Saudi security compact with nuclear dimensions raises the stakes in South Asia and could harden strategic postures on all sides. Washington and key Western partners will weigh how the pact affects their bases, force posture, and influence in the Gulf. The U.S. may push for transparency and risk reduction mechanisms. Israel will watch closely, given regional tensions. The pact is both a symptom and driver of shifting reliance away from a single security guarantor, the U.S. Expect more diplomatic activity and possibly new memoranda to manage deconfliction. Pakistan may receive financial aid, investment, and defense procurement from Saudi Arabia, plus enhanced training and basing arrangements. But deeper entanglement risks dragging Pakistan into Middle East crises and could complicate relations with Western partners. Over time, this could include access arrangements for ports or air bases and integrated planning mechanisms. That makes rapid Saudi-Pakistani response possible, but also increases the chance of miscalculation in crises. The agreement is described by officials as defensive rather than offensive. It is not directed against any third country. Pakistan's defense minister, Khawaja Asif, has said that Pakistan's nuclear capabilities may be made available to Saudi Arabia under this pact, essentially meaning that Saudi Arabia may benefit from Pakistan's nuclear deterrent as part of their mutual defense. The agreement allows for the possibility that other Arab or Muslim countries might join or be included later. The doors are not closed. Not just a promise to defend. The accord also calls for strengthening of military cooperation, sharing of defense capacity, potentially joint exercises, and other deterrence measures. It signals a stronger security alignment between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, possibly altering strategic balances in the Middle East/South Asia. Saudi Arabia has long relied on alliances with the U.S., but this pact could represent a diversification of its security guarantees. The nuclear umbrella aspect raises questions about deterrence thresholds, nuclear command and control, escalatory risks, etc. It may alter how adversaries see threats from Pakistan-Saudi Arabia alignment. If other Arab states join, this could lead to a more formal security bloc in the region, which could impact a range of current alliances, conflict flashpoints, etc. What re the risks and downside scenarios revolving around this pact? Number one, if the pact is invoked in a crisis, it could draw Pakistan into regional wars not central to its core interests. Number two, neighbors could respond by strengthening their own deterrence and alliances. Number three, diplomatic isolation. Pakistan might face pressure from Western partners if perceived to be enabling unstable nuclear doctrines or entangling commitments. Number four, domestic blowback. Political opposition at home could use the pact to contest government legitimacy or budget priorities. The bottom line is that pact strengthens Saudi deterrence and deepens a decades-old Saudi-Pakistan security relationship, but it also raises regional tensions, nuclear ambiguity concerns, and political economic trade-offs that will shape Gulf South Asia diplomacy for years. But what is not clear, yet what exact military assets will be shared, how joint defense or operations would be carried out, etc. These technical details have not been publicly disclosed. While Pakistan has said its nuclear deterrent could come into effect under the pact, it's unclear under what specific triggers, command structure, or conditions this would happen, which other countries might join, and how. While possibility is open, no commitments yet from other nations. How quickly the pact's mechanisms will be operational. How other states, India, Iran, the US, Israel view this pact, and how it affects their policies. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for watching us.